I want you to say hello to my little friend.
That's going up on YouTube tonight.
Welcome back to the Plays with the Cars YouTube channel and another episode of Project Time Trial, where we're taking our 986 generation Porsche Boxster S to our first ever SCCA time trial event. Alright, so as you can see, I have a gigantic pile of stuff here in the front of the Porsche. That would be the front boot for those of you who don't speak English. And we are getting ready for our first ever SCCA time trial event tomorrow at Portland International Raceway. As of this filming. I'm filming Thursday night. Don't know if the video is going live tonight or tomorrow. But regardless, I have, from the time of this filming, less than 24 hours between me and this car are out on track, banging around, going for our fastest possible lap. So for those of you not familiar, time trial is a time attack event. It's like Gran Turismo in real life. You are going for your single fastest flying lap. It's not a door-to-door competition. It's not about who can bang fenders the most. It's about who's got the fastest lap. And we're really excited to try this out. It's a new form of racing experience for myself. Obviously, I've done a ton of drag racing. Hello, Project 06. A ton of autocross and go-kart racing and all sorts of crazy stuff. But I've never done anything like this, and I'm really, really excited to try it. So, that being said, we've spent the last week getting everything ready to go with the car. Those of you that have seen the previous videos know that we've put on brand new tires. Make sure that we had 200 tread wear, legal width, all the good stuff that are going to last the track day. We made sure we had brand new brakes. We did pads and rotors and new brake fluid. Make sure we could survive a track day. We changed the oil. We checked all the other fluids. We did a nut and bolt check on all of the things that are an issue on these cars. We checked the car from end to end, did road tests. We know we are good to go mechanically. I also took care of myself. I contacted SCCA National Office and got my time trial license. You need an actual time trial license in order to compete in time trial, even if you already have, for example, a club racing license or a license with Champ Car or Lucky Dog or any of those guys. You still have to apply for a time trial license. We made sure we did that. I attended our meeting tonight. We had a mandatory Zoom meeting for the driver's meeting and then a novice meeting. So I made sure that I attended all that stuff, that I was there, that I was present, that I participated, so that all my I's are dotted and T's are crossed, so that tomorrow when I get to the track, all I have to worry about is my fastest lap. I'm not the guy stuck in the paddock trying to figure out his waiver form because he didn't have it beforehand, or his tech form or anything like that. I don't want to be the guy that's sitting there with a car that's overheating or broken brakes or whatever because I didn't take care of it. So I'm taking care of all this stuff now, and that includes making sure my equipment loadout is ready to go. So let's go over everything you see here, because you are likely going to need all of this stuff at any track event, and especially at a time trial. And it's just a good idea to review your equipment to make sure you're not forgetting anything before you leave. Obviously, I don't trailer the car. I don't own a truck or anything like that. We are driving it there, so we need to make sure we have everything packed up and ready to go. Okay, so first, that's better. First and most importantly, you need a helmet. This is required at every time trial event, no matter the car, no matter the class. You have to have a helmet, and it has to meet certain specs. For example, this is 2021, and if you have a helmet that is certified by the SFI, it has to be a 2010 or 2015 or 2020 spec. You can't use a 2005 or older spec. They change the specs on helmets every 5 years. This particular brain bucket happens to be an SA 2015, so we are good to go there. Now for me personally, to go with my helmet, I have a fireproof baklava. I like to have this just as an extra thing. One, if you're getting sweaty in there, it's easy to wash the baklava. It's not so easy to wash the helmet, but also it's just another layer of fire protection. Again, you can always over safety, you can never under safety. I also sometimes like to wear a neck collar, horseshoe collar. This is not a Hans device, and this does not take the place of a Hans device. This is kind of what they had before Hans devices. You can still get them. They're very common in drag racing. In drag racing, Hans devices are kind of just now starting to catch on, and usually it's only for stuff that's really, really fast. These are great in the little sportsman categories and stuff. I haven't ever really needed this outside of go-kart incidences, thank goodness. But again, you can always over safety, you can never underdo it. So sometimes I wear this depending on what I'm doing. When I'm out drag racing, I wear it. Autocross, I don't usually because, I mean, if you spin, you're going to hit a cone, not a wall or anything like that. But track days, I almost always have this with me, so I'm making sure to pack it this time. I'm also bringing gloves. These particular ones happen to be my driving gloves. They're not fireproof or safety gloves or anything like that. I just find that driving on a track, your palms get kind of sweaty, and sweaty hands lead to slippery steering wheels and issues there. These gloves just happen to be a really nice grip on the material that my steering wheel is made of, so I never have to worry about sweaty hands and losing my grip on the steering wheel. As things progress, I think I would like to find a set of fireproof racing gloves that have a similar material feel on the inside for the grippiness. So this is definitely something I'm looking to upgrade when it comes to safety. This is just kind of for me personally for track driving. All right, next you're going to want a tire pressure gauge. Setting your tire pressure is important in any form of motorsports. It's especially important in drag racing and in autocross, because 1 psi of difference can literally be the difference between you winning or losing, or placing trophies in your class or something like that. Track days, it's also important to keep your tire temperatures in line. When you're doing time attack, you're really pushing the tires. They're going to get hot, and you're going to want to be able to bleed your pressure down to your optimal. Now, that being said, it's not always about going down. Sometimes you need to go up, and that's what this is for. This is a tire inflator. It's not so much for like inflating a tire from dead flat. This is great for adding a couple of pounds at the track. Super easy, light and portable to carry around. That way I can adjust my air pressures up or down however I want. This also means that when the event is over, my tires are cooled back down, and I need to put them back to street pressures, I have the ability to do that on board. Oh yeah, make sure your batteries are fully charged. You don't want to bring this to the track with a dead battery. That's, not very helpful. Alright, so this one's going to seem obvious to you engine guys, but just in case there's anybody watching that isn't super into checking this on your car all the time, bring at least one spare quart of oil. You never know what your car is going to do out on track and if it's going to suck any down, and obviously some towels so you can check the oil and make sure that you've got the right level in between run groups. Another thing that might be a good idea, although not necessarily mandatory, is to bring some of your brake fluid. Now, we just bled all of our brakes with this actual ATE Type 200.4 racing fluid, but you never know. Sometimes, you need to add some at the track or do a bleed at the track, and it's a good idea to have some on hand. Alright, so Project Porsche here happens to have off-the-shelf Koni dampeners, which are adjustable on the top using this particular tool. So I always make sure I have my adjustment tool with me so that I can adjust my shocks firmer or softer depending on what my needs are. I also bring a smattering of tools that I happen to know I will need. This one everyone's going to need. It's a torque wrench with the socket on it for my lug nuts so that I can make sure my wheels are torqued between every session and I don't lose a wheel. That being said, I also bring a couple of hand tools, just some simple screwdrivers and a ratchet with the very specific socket that I need for that problematic CV axle to transaxle shaft assembly. Those are the bolts that we had to check when we were nutting and bolting the car. I like to have this with me at the track just in case if those suckers start coming out, I can tighten them back down. That is definitely an issue with this particular car, being the 986 generation Boxster on track. That is like, you can go find dozens of things on forums about people having those bolts come out. Like, that is a known issue. So whatever known issue your car has, make sure you have the tools for your known issue. It's known for a reason. Zippy ties are never a bad idea, just saying. Alright, and lastly for the car, I've got some numbers. These are our magnetic numbers from autocrossdigits.com. Not sponsored, pay full price for those all the time, including these. These are just magnetic numbers, and when you run time trial, you have to have numbers on the car so that they can tell who you are out on track. So make sure I have my magnetic numbers with me and that they will stick on the car. Now, just in case they don't stick on the car, I'm bringing some tape too, not to make a tape number because tape numbers suck, but to actually tape the edge of my magnets so that they don't fall off, because there's a big difference between autocross speeds and doing a $120 on the backstretch at PIR. So bringing this just in case. Alright, that does it for the car, but let's talk about the driver. So you can see here, I got a simple camp chair with me, so I got a place to sit when I'm in between sessions. I'm also obviously going to bring water, snacks, different layers when it comes to like sleeves and things like that, because you don't want to overheat in the car, but you just don't want to be freezing cold. So, you know, making sure I'm wearing my long pants, my closed-toe shoes, socks, good shirt, and all that stuff. But bringing like a sweatshirt and bringing like a jacket too, making sure I have whatever I need so that I'm comfortable. Because again, this is a mental game as much as it's a skill game. If I'm thinking about what's wrong with the car, or what's wrong with me, or I'm hungry, or like my feet hurt because I've been standing around all day, I'm not going to run my fastest lap. If I want to run my fastest lap, I need to be well rested, well fed, ready to go, so that the only thing my brain can think about is hitting that lap, that perfect lap. And I'm going to be able to do that by making sure I have everything beforehand, including stuff for myself like this. So this should be just about everything I need other than the food and water. I'll pack that up right before I go so that it stays nice and fresh. But I'm going to give everything here in the garage a once over to make sure there's not any tools or parts or liquids I am forgetting and might need. And then I'm going to get everything packed up into the car here and ready to go, so that tomorrow all I got to do is throw in my food and water and hit the road. So that's what you need for your first time trial, or really any track event. Hope that is helpful to you. And for those of you that have been following along live all week, I will be probably posting at least something live from the track on Friday afternoon. That would be April the 2nd, so that you can see what's going on. And obviously I'll be bringing this with me and taking lots of video there on site. And I'll put together a nice supercut the day after so that you guys can see stuff, including some on-track action. So I'm going to go make sure the batteries are charged for this and all that other stuff, and get all this packed into the car. That way I'm ready to go. So until next time, that's been the Plays with Cars YouTube channel.